Buru, Iboya, Boo, Che, everybody in Cyberland. Hey, it's your favorite Babalao. Omo doing Dile Que coming at you with another video. Before I start, please give me the like, the subscribe, share if you could. And I wanted to kind of just go over some generic things that I think is very important for us to remember in this faith. And this is possibly going to be my last video that's very going to be generalized. I'm going to move back to the Patakis. I'm going to move back to speaking about the Orishas, and I'm going to go back to explaining Ifa, specifically the Oduns. But I spend a lot of time answering a lot of mail on a certain topic of this has happened to me, and this is where I'm at, and I don't know what to do. And I know I've mentioned this in a couple of videos in the past, but I wanted to go ahead and kind of just walk you through it. I wanted to give you a scenario. If, let's say, you were a person that had no clue about this faith, how you should walk. Meaning that since a lot of you have some form of understanding of this faith, you should walk a little better, right? All right. So let's call this character, because we always say John and Jane, right? We're going to call this character John. All right, then we're going to say John's walking down the street and goes into a botanica, and he sees all these wonderful vases and necklaces, and that dude's just thumbs up, right? And then he asks us for a consultation. Okay, he goes through the consultation, he hears some truth, he gets some recommendations, he does the eboses, everything's working well. He now has a spark, a fire, spirituality that has awakened, right? And life is beautiful. Now he wants to continue in this journey of the faith. So the person that's consulting him, we're going to say, is a Babalao. So the Babalao says, okay, if you want to get initiated, the first thing that we need to do is get you your warriors and your mano de orula. And he explains the warriors. Ogun is the one that clears the way, right? Ochosi is the one that's always hunting and looking out for enemies. He explains who Ishu is in Ifa. Ishu being the darkness and the negativity of it all, not necessarily because Ishu is negative, but because he holds it back. Because without darkness, there's no light. Without death, there's no life. It's a yin and a yang, a positive and a negative. Ishu is a beautiful divinity. Don't let anybody tell you different. Ishu is not Elegua. Then he continues to go on to explain to you who Orula is and what is Orula going to give you. Orula is going to give you a life sign. And Odun, and with that Odun comes a lot of advice and prohibitions and taboos. And we're going to tell you how to walk, how to run, how to speak, how to better approach life and different challenges. We're also going to tell you who is your Obatori. What is the guardian Orisha that walks with you so you can learn the attributes and the characteristics of that Orisha so that you know what temperaments they have, because you are not the Orisha. You are not Chango, you're not Yemaya, you're not Ochung, that's not who you are. But you have their temperaments because they're always with you. And sometimes they push us in certain directions. So now that we have a full picture and that person understands what they're going to get initiated to, the next question is, okay, we can plan that out, which means that there'll be a next plante. And if everything is perfect in that plante, before that plante actually that time comes, there's going to be time for that person to learn about who are the Eguns, who are the ancestors. All spiritual houses should have a bóveda that's going to dictate that house. That bóveda is going to be your foundation. Once you understand and you're disciplined with the bóveda, then if everything works out perfectly, you got the bóveda, you understand how to consecrate the bóveda, you've been very respectful to the orishas, and you understand the bóveda, then you move on to receive your divinities, which are the initiations into this faith. You get your warriors. Now you know what the warriors do. You get Orula. You know how Orula is. And with Orula comes Osun, who wakes up Orula, who is a messenger, who's a communication tower, kind of like a cell phone tower. right? To make sure that that message that's coming down from Olodumare, from Ifa, from whoever is making its way. Because Ifa, Orula, and Osun are one. So we begin to dissect what is the perfect equation, the concoction, right? Now the person understands Ifa. Now the person understands their spiritual development, because that Odun, okay, and them knowing who the Albatori is, begins to show them a roadmap, a spiritual roadmap on what is next, what is required. Not everybody needs to go to Ocha. Not everybody needs to get scratched in palo. Not everybody needs to be a babalao. It does not work that way. If you have the urge to do certain things, there's certain things that are mandatory, and there's certain things that are maybe good ideas and recommendations. The mandatory stuff is what you need to focus on. And when you're disciplined and you receive all the orishas that are required under your sign and your obatori for you to live in love, prosperity, tranquility, and now you want the extra responsibility of aligning yourself with palo because you like palo and you want to be a tata in a house, or you want to just run your own ile, right? Because you want to help people, or you want to go get crowned your obatori because you love your obatori so much and you want to help people, or you want to be a bawalao because you want to learn and you want to be, knowledgeable in the aspects of Ifa, and you want to help people. Okay, Buruboya. Then there's process to that, because we got to make sure that even when we do those steps that we do it the right way. This is not a race. This is a marathon. And in a lot of marathons, like even today, when you train for a marathon, a lot of times you don't finish that marathon, but you give it your all. And that's the aspect of our faith. So, a couple of rules. All right, couple of rules. After you receive your warriors and your mano de arula, and you want to continue to grow, and your heart is telling you, and your ita is telling you that you would be good to get crowned one day, your obatori, your guardian orisha. Perfect, beautiful. Go find yourself someone, an ialocha, babalocha, right? Which we also like to call santero, santeras. I don't like to use those terms too much. That will take you into their house and be responsible for you, who will show you the way of respect, knowledge, understanding, who will vouch for you and make sure that they take you on so that they can teach you and mentor you and coach you. And when you select that person, that's when you go through your Koyare ceremony. That's when you begin to solidify that pact. And in Buruboya, Bucheche, many blessings to you at that point. Okay, let's say at this point in time, you do not have any interest in going to Ocha. That's perfectly fine too. I know a lot of people that go get their mano de orula, and one day, they love it so much, but now they want to be a babalao. They want to go through Ifa. Iburuboya, Ibucheche. That's perfect. Right? Bawalaos know the ceremonies that need to happen in order to give thanks and to give passage to their obatori in order to go to that land of Ifa without having to go through Ocha. What's my recommendation as a human being? I say go through it all. I said if you have the possibility to go get scratched and go through Palo, understand it, learn it, move on. Go to Ocha. Learn it, live it, move on. Now you want to go be a Bawalao? Learn it, live it, move on. Because in this life, we're here to learn. We're here to teach. We're here to help each other. And I need that to be understood. The same way I need you to understand that an initiation doesn't happen in the mail. An initiation doesn't happen in a phone call. I can do an ebo from long distance. Yeah, sure. I can do a ceremony with an orisha in your name. Yeah, sure. But initiation, look at how serious this situation is. Look at that story, how John just walked through. You can't do that over the mail. You can't do that over a camera. This faith is about love, respect, tranquility, prosperity, health, and blessings. Right? That is our faith. That is the foundation of our faith. Because this faith is not bad. But there just happens to be bad people with negative intentions, and they manipulate this faith to do bad things. But worry not, because if your faith is strong and you have good mentors, you will constantly stay clean. People will throw things on you and they just bounce right off without a problem. So don't worry about that either. People say, hey, you need to go do this because if not, you're going to die. Tell them don't worry about it. My head got it, okay? Don't let them scare you to death for money and profit, because that's a lot of the issues that we have today. I made a video on Icafun, which was the letra de año, the Odun that came out for the year, that spoke about being careful with those wolves in sheep's clothing. So please, I just gave you a roadmap on how your spirituality should work. And do you have to do everything in a year? No. 2 years? No. 5 years? No. But stop wasting your money, right? Nickel and diming is real. Give me this, give me that, boom, boom, this, that, and the other. No. If you're ready to make that leap, then say you need to make that leap. Talk to the Babalao. If I consult you and you're like, hey, I want to receive my words on Mano Arula, how do I work it? That's the investment you're going to make in order for you to stop getting nickel and dime. You get a consultation every month, and then you got to do an ebo, and then you got to do an adimu, and then you got to get a baño, and this next thing you know, it adds up. And when you add all that money together, you probably could have got your warriors, Mano de Orula, you could have got crowned 3 times already, but all in a span. Come on, let's work this out and let's be methodical. This faith is just as logical as it is spiritual. And a lot of people don't understand that. If you have questions, you ask the question. If you're not learning, tell them to teach you. Logic. You have an Ori. Your Ori communicates. Your intuitions are real. Use them. So with that said, I'm waiting on my ride. My beautiful wife should be coming now. And she should be here any minute, so I'm gonna tune off. But I wanted to make this video because it really does. It hurts me sometimes to hear some of these stories, and I want to and I don't want to beat a dead horse. I don't. But I think this is a message that needs to constantly be reenacted. Stay tuned. We're gonna go back into Pataki's old dunes. I'm going all in. And I'm gonna have a structure. And it's gonna be great. So tune in, give me the like, give me the share. la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com. La regla de ifa@gmail.com, right? So dots in between. la.regla.de.ifa@gmail.com. Shoot me a message, hit me a comment. And with that said, Buruboya Bucheche Cyberland. Appreciate you.